Very seldom have I looked at Trump and thought, yeah, I can relate to this. But he came out after Israel was about to launch a full-scale bombing attack on Iran. And he came out, he heard about this. Man didn't even put on a tie. Came out of the White House half-dressed, ran straight into reporters, and he went into it. He was like, I heard about what Iran is doing and what Israel is doing, and let me tell you, I'm angry at Iran, but I'm more angry at Israel.
Seems weird, but there's probably a very simple explanation for why he talks that way. A thing called brain damage. Trump also... Trump also opened up about his personal struggles.
Some people say, sir, how do you get out of bed in the morning? It's a war.
No, it's true. Getting out of bed is a war. First fight is rolling over. Then comes...
All right, guys, let's start with this bizarre moment. Trump comes out after Israel and Iran nearly spark a full-scale war. He doesn't even put on a tie, storms into reporters half-dressed, and launches into a rant. Instead of clarity, he blurts out, I'm more angry at Israel than Iran. What kind of leader talks like that in a crisis? Trevor Noah nails it, saying there's a simple explanation, brain damage. Trump thinks he's dropping history-making lines, but all he's really dropping is credibility, and late-night comedians shred him for it.
United States of America, if you want to win an election, all you need to have is a strange voice. Simple as that. You want to be president of the United States? Get a strange voice, you're done. Yeah, forget policies, forget ideas, that's boring. You come out there with a strange voice, the people love it. You realize there's been no American president who has a normal speaking voice, none. Trump, that was the weirdest of all.
No, you fool! Now there's one less job. Don't you see? You fell into her trap. But it makes sense. He fires anyone who gives him bad news. Mr. Dr. Cardiologist, you clearly rigged my cholesterol to be 1,000 and said my blood type was aioli. You're fired, happen or no, it's honey mustard.
Listen up, because this is where Trump's delusion kicks in. He opens up about personal struggles, whining that getting out of bed is a war. First fight is rolling over, then sitting up. Really? The so-called strong man of American politics comparing mornings to combat. Every time he steps on stage, he believes he's delivering a world-class performance. But Noah and Colbert tear it down, exposing a bloated rerun, mocking his contradictions, his endless grievances, and his desperate need to turn politics into a low-budget drama that never ends.
At this point, Trump isn't even trying to hide his awfulness. His critics accuse him of being a wannabe dictator, so what does he do? He sits down with Hungarian dictator and elephant seal barking for a trout, Viktor Orban. Orban went down to Mar-a-Lago on Friday for an official fake state visit with the not president. Orban's a bad guy. In the last decade, he has weakened the institutions of democracy, eroded the legal system, and eliminated effective opposition.
Now, guys, this one's hilarious. Trevor points out that in America, you don't even need real policies to win. You just need a strange voice. Every president's had one, and Trump's was the weirdest of all. Colbert adds fuel, mocking how Trump fires anyone who gives him bad news. Doctors? Advisors? Doesn't matter. If the truth hurts, you're fired. And of course, he blames them for rigging his cholesterol or inventing fake blood types. The comedy writes itself, and these late-night takedowns expose just how fragile his ego really is.
Trump would be exactly the same even if he spoke Arabic. It would be like the same thing. He'd be like,
All right, buckle up. Trump hosts Hungary's Viktor Orban like it's an official state visit, except he's not even president anymore. Orban is notorious for crushing democracy, yet Trump rolls out the red carpet at Mar-a-Lago. Trevor roasts the absurdity of a man trying to project authority while tweeting like a teenager at 3 a.m. Trump wants to be remembered as a titan, but instead he's the punchline, A man strutting around, declaring fake victories, taking credit for things he barely understands. It's ego colliding with incompetence, and comedians make sure everyone sees it.
I'm not saying that Trump doesn't care about his followers, but Trump is saying it.
And by the way, isn't that breeze nice? Do you feel the breeze? Because I don't want anybody going on me. We need every voter. I don't care about you. I just want your vote. I don't care. See, now the press will take that and they'll say he said a horrible thing.
Of course, if you say a horrible thing, people are going to say what you said is horrible. That's how words work.
Here's the punch. Trump brags about being a genius, yet stumbles through sentences like, English is his worst enemy. He talks stamina, but needs a golf cart to cross a room. Claims he's a master negotiator, but argues himself into dead ends. Colbert's sly delivery lets Trump implode under his own contradictions. Noah adds the killer line. Trump isn't running a country. He's hosting the world's longest reality show. Every press conference is another episode. Every meltdown is another rerun. The star won't leave the stage, but the ratings are already in the gutter.
I'm gonna help. I'm gonna totally de-escalate this situation. And we were like, my man, you've never de-escalated a thing in your life. From your hair to your politics, nothing is a de-escalation. Trump came in and he's like, I don't like how Iran and Israel are launching bombs at each other all the time. So many bombs, we can't have this. It's not right. We gotta fix it. And they're like, all right, how are you gonna fix it? He's like, by dropping bombs.
Guys, this is peak Trump. He claims he'll de-escalate tensions between Israel and Iran by dropping bombs. Trevor roasts the insanity. This is a man who has never de-escalated anything, from his politics to his hair. Trump markets himself as the richest, smartest, toughest man alive, yet it's pure desperation. Colbert lands the final blow. Trump isn't George Washington or Iron Man. He's a late-night infomercial salesman, loud, repetitive, and selling a product nobody asked for. Confidence on the outside, but inside, just an empty pitch for validation.
Have you ever noticed that when Trump has no idea about something, he just says any crazy thing that pops into his head, and then he adds, I don't know? Which is pretty slick, because then you can never call him out on it.
Maybe birds can fly backward when we're not looking. I don't know. I don't know. We'll see.
You know, I know that Donald Trump is trying to be menacing here, but all I hear is a really catchy pop song. And it's like, my button brings all the boys to the yard, and they're like, it's bigger than yours. Damn right, it's better than yours.
Now let's talk obsession. Trump never stops bragging about crowd sizes. 5 people show up, he calls it 5 million. Empty venue, he screams fake news. Noah skewers the delusion. It's like a magician pulling rabbits out of a hat, only for the rabbits to sue him afterward. Meanwhile, Colbert hammers the irony. Trump isn't governing, he's auditioning. Every rally, every rant is rehearsal for an imaginary audience in the future. But history won't remember the rallies. It'll remember the spectacle of a man who thought volume equals vision.
What is he going to do when he loses?
Yeah, people act like it's gonna.
I'm being for real about this, by the way. Like, I think people take for granted that guy thinks everything is a conspiracy.
Trev, you're smarter than me. Please explain this to people, because I've been trying to tell people this. It's not going to be a peaceful transfer of power. I don't think it's going to be a transfer of power at all.
I don't think
he's going anywhere.
I don't think Donald Trump does anything normally. I wouldn't be shocked if he just goes like, I'm not leaving the White House.
I'm not leaving.
I could see him just being like, I'm not leaving. There were fake votes. 3 million fake Mexicans voted. I'm not leaving. And you know what's weird about America is America has all these rules where you guys have just agreed to things, but it's not like written down properly. And then they'll just be like, but you're supposed to leave.
And here's the finale, guys. Trump's Twitter addiction is the ultimate cell phone. At 3 a.m., he's bragging about TV ratings, picking fights with critics, and flooding America with fake news while screaming about fake news. Noah and Colbert strip away the theater and show the emptiness beneath. He wanted to be the toughest president ever, but comedians expose him as fragile, insecure, and drowning in his own contradictions. Trump wanted to dominate history, but history is already laughing. In the end, he's not the titan he dreamed of. He's the joke.
Does he talk like that the rest of the day? No one eats chicken nuggets like Trump. In terms of hungrily, nobody puts on pajamas like Trump by way of sleepily, and the deep state is forcing Trump to get up several times a night apropos of poopily. Or apropos